Okay, so I just finished doing the video where I talk about the book Dark Whispers, which is the third book in the Unicorn Chronicles, which has 4 books. It is a 4-book saga. It is a 4-book saga. English is not my first language, so bear with me. You know, I read the book, I understand everything. I think my English is pretty good, to be honest. I read a lot, I read a lot, so it's really good. But it's really hard for me to go through 1 hour of talking non-stop without either having to stop to think, or maybe saying a word not so well. But yeah, I already gave you the talk about what I think for this book, what I liked, what I disliked, what was the best stuff from it, the worst stuff from it, and my general opinion of the whole thing. What I like doing a second video, which I find much more interesting, and which is a discussion, a philosophical discussion pretty much, about ideas that I got from the book. And I don't just read you the fragment that I marked or tell you the idea that I had, I also tell you what I think about it. So this video, more than anything, is a video that I think that's going to teach you something based on what I learned from the book or what I got from it. Because it's not that I learned all this from this book. I knew most of it from before, but there was something here that made me remember it, that made me see that it truly is that way, that it really works that way. So let's begin, so you can see what I learned from this, what I caught, which was worth discussing in an interesting talk that can make you think, that can make you learn something that will be useful for you and for your life. So let's see what we can learn from Dark Whispers, the third book in the Unicorn Chronicles, based on the ideas that I had. So page 20, I had 20 of them, so we have 20 of them. Page 20. Okay, let me read. So what I marked: oddly enough, at the same time, he felt more hope than he had imagined possible. Basically, this is talking about Iron Hunter, and Iron Hunter has an interesting situation in the book. And by the way, I'm going to suppose that you already read the book. This is supposed to be like after you read the whole book discussion. So I'm going to suppose that you already read it. So basically, depending on the situation that you're going through in your life, your mind will be open to having more hope, to innovate more, and to come up with more ideas, with better ideas, or even with new ideas, all depending on the situation that you're going through. So sometimes it's not that there are people with much brighter minds that get many more ideas, but it really is that these are people that are putting themselves more in the position to come up with more ideas and more innovation because of what they do. And this also can be linked or can be done with hope. Depending on the situation that you're going through, if it is a situation that is a better conductor of hope, you're more likely to be more hopeful. It's going to help you to be hopeful, obviously, if you're also optimistic. I think if you're optimistic, even if you're in a bad situation, you will have more hope than other people. But regardless of your level of optimism, the state that your mind is in, because of the situation that you're going through, is going to determine how high or low your hope for everything is going to be. Also, how high or low your creativity, your vision for new things, it really depends on what you're going through. So we can have two people that are very creative, that are, amazing thinkers, and they can be in completely different situations, and I guarantee you that there's one of them that's going to come up with better ideas, more creative stuff, because he or she is in a better position for it at that point in their life, or during that day in their life, during those circumstances that he or she is going through. So it really depends on your environment and what you're going through. So if you're someone like me, someone creative, someone that thinks a lot and gets new ideas and likes to put those ideas to work, try to put yourself in an environment and in experiences and positions that will be a better conductor of that for you. So that's number one. Number two, page 23. Okay, I don't know who's talking here, but what it says here is, he did not panic. He had been trained not to. Training, let me read you what I wrote here in my... I don't just get the ideas, I write them down so that I can make sure that I don't forget them. And then when I come here, I do improvise. I do sit here and I give the talk without any preparation, pretty much, like an impromptu speech. But at least I have my ideas here written, so that if I forgot it, I don't have to stop in the middle of the video to remember. I already have it here. So training is one of the top 3 things you need to be great at anything, no matter what the skill is. So sometimes you may meet someone that is extremely good at something. If you read some of the stories that I have written so far, I've done a lot of fan fiction, and right now I'm beginning with original stories, and I'm finally beginning to do the first book that I can publish, which is going to be a collection of pretty good fables and short stories they're really good, so you'll see when I publish that. So, but I have already done a lot of stories, like The Air Sage of the Leaf. That's basically a continuation of Naruto based on the grandfather of Naruto. I also did the Matrix Revelations, which I did finish, and it is really good. So if you watch the first 3 Matrix movies, go to my page, search WordPress for author Pedro Cristobal, go there, and go to fan fiction, the fan fiction section, and read the Matrix Revelations, which is my story for a 4th movie of the Matrix. And it is a really good story. It's amazing. It's a science fiction book, pretty much. I've done much more than that, but it was all related to other things that they were not mine originally, and right now I'm beginning with the original stuff, and this is just sharing with you my reading list, which is not my books, it's all the books, and what I think about them and what I learn from them, because I always try to learn something from everything I do. It's not always easy to learn something from everything you do. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but I try to have a mentality to learn everything from everything I do every day. Hopefully I try to have that mentality. So okay, yeah, training. Sometimes you meet people that they feel and they look and you think that they are gifted, but it may not necessarily be that they are gifted at their craft or at their skill. It may be that they have been doing it for very long, and they have been doing it consciously. They have been doing it not just to do it, not just for the sake of doing it, but for the sake of getting better at it. And since they have been doing it for such a long time, guess what happened? They have gotten much better at it. So they get to a point where they're extremely good. And you see them and you think, oh, they're pros. or they were always like that. No, they were not always like that, but they have trained a lot, and it is for everything. It is for everything, for writing, for reading, for tests, for difficult tests, like this test that they give you for college admissions, like the SAT, the GRE, that kind of thing. For any field, for any job, for any subject at school or at the university, even for fighting, even for sports, the more you train it, the better prepared you are, the more you know, the better you're at it. So training is the key. If you see someone that is extremely good at something, you can bet on the fact that they have trained that a lot. And they have trained it to learn and to get better, not just to do it. So that's it. Whenever you see someone with a lot of talent, question whether it is true talent or okay talent and a lot of training. It would not surprise me if it is just good talent with a lot of training, because I really do feel, and this is based on my own experience, that training, talent helps a lot, but if you don't train it, it doesn't go to the next level. So training is what truly takes you to a level of greatness at any skill and at any activity. So training is the key. You have to love training for it, and you have to love training to improve it, not just to do it. Okay, so that's number 2. So train a lot. Whatever you like, whatever you enjoy, train it. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is gonna be page 24. Okay, what does it say there? And why should I offer this? Because knowledge is sweeter when it is shared. This earned him a chuckle. Sweeter knowledge does nothing to put rice on the table. That is the pessimist talking, I'm guessing, right? And even though it is true, you can dish out a lot of knowledge and not get paid for it. Like right now, I'm not getting any money for this. And I'm pretty sure that the ideas that I'm going to leave you here, they will be useful if you listen to them and if you have an open mind to learn from them. But and I say this from my own experience, the person that tends to be the person sharing the best knowledge, the most useful knowledge, the most entertaining stuff, the stuff that really makes a difference, the person that really feels it from the heart is not doing it just to make some money, some cash out of it. It's doing it, he or she does it, and that is my case, because they enjoy it. They enjoy, in my case, I am writing books and stories that I do plan to sell, but I'm not doing it because of the sales. I'm not doing it because of the money. I'm not doing it because of the fame that having come up with amazing stories may bring me. I'm doing it because I feel that sharing those experiences will do for many other readers what it did for me before they existed. It really changed me in many ways for the better. It made me a better person, a better man. It gave me so much, and I realized that sharing my stories, writing them, it's a lot of work, but that's the only way. I have to writing them, eventually publishing them, and giving them to you so you can experience them. Then you can experience them like I did. It's something that's gonna give me a lot of happiness. It's not just about when I get to that point, I'm sure that I will be getting a lot of messages from people telling me that the story was amazing, telling me that they were inspired, telling me that they laughed. And for many of those people, those stories, if they reach them at a critical point in their lives, those stories are going to make a huge positive difference in their lives. And knowing that I was the one that could do that for them is something that really makes me happy. It's something that gives me the kind of fulfillment and accomplishment and achievement and joy, personal joy, that cannot be bought with any amount of money. It can only be obtained by doing something great and sharing it with other people so that they can also experience all that greatness. And it is something that really, it makes me feel amazing. So that's the real reason why I'm doing it. So it's if a great scientist comes up with something great and he shares it with all of us and it makes our lives better, and you see the guy talking and you see that the guy is a wonderful person, he's not doing it just because of the fame or because of the money that he will make out of it. It's also this other drive that we have, especially if you are a good person at heart, this drive that we have to make the world a better place, to give something great to other people so that they can be happier just like you were, thanks to that, which is my case. So yeah, whenever you see someone special, someone that is sharing something special, something great, don't think that they are doing it for some ulterior motive. More than likely, there are a lot of scammers out there that do it for the wrong reason, but the good people do it for the right reason, and the right reason is making a positive difference. Okay, so that was number 2, I think. No, that was number 3. Yeah. So we go to number 4 right now, which is page 26. Okay. She had been surprised to discover how much the cheerful man knew about deadly combat. They're talking about Thomas when he trains Kara at sword fighting, some sword fighting, and Thomas didn't look like the guy who would, he looked like a nice guy, a good guy, obviously a smart guy, clever guy, but he didn't look like the guy who will all of a sudden take out a sword and slice you into pieces. He didn't look like that. But the thing is, and I know this very well for myself. Let me read to you what I put here. Don't judge a book by the cover or a person by their looks. You can judge a person by what they are doing with their life on a daily basis, what they talk about, like what I'm doing right now. You can judge me based on this. You can see that I like good talks, inspiring talks, reading. Look at this. Obviously, and writing, and inspiring other people. I like all that. I love it. Inspiration is, one of the things that inspires me the most is inspiration itself. And if I can produce it, even better. But I have been into martial arts as well. I play some sports as well. I'm not an ace. I am not Nadal and Roger Federer. I am not that good at tennis, for example. But I do play, and I get pretty competitive, and I like it. And I also like martial arts. You will not imagine me after giving these philosophical talks and reading a huge book and writing a lot and doing a lot of intellectual activities. You will not imagine me kicking and punching a kicking bag. And I do have a kicking bag, by the way. I own one, and I do it at least twice a week. It's not something that I'm crazy about, but it is good training, it is good practice, it is good for stamina, it is wonderful for stamina. So like I said, don't judge someone by the way they look. If you look at me, I probably look, especially if I take this off and if I wear some, more like work clothes, like a business casual, I look like an intellectual. If I am, in a park, like a tennis court, I look a little bit different. I'm like this, I'm more like this, and maybe wearing some white t-shirt, something like that. Maybe I might have like a white headband, especially if I'm playing tennis, or even racquetball. I also wear it for racquetball. When you see me in those places, you will not imagine that I do these philosophical talks, and that I'm into writing books, and that I'm into reading so much, and into writing, not just writing books, also writing articles. I write a lot. So you cannot judge me based on where you see me. That doesn't work. Or based on how I look. You have to know what I do on a daily basis and what are my hobbies and all that to be able to begin judging, and to begin judging with accuracy, actually getting it right. So this is very important, because our mind judges someone right away, instantly, when you see them, based on what you see. And that doesn't work very well. To really know the person, if you're judging based on the first impression when you saw them, for just like 2 or 3 minutes, it's not enough. You don't get the full picture. You only get one picture. It's one of those things that is not in our favor, even though we are like that. So at least if you're aware of it, it can help you to not be so quick at judging someone else, and understanding that there are a lot of layers that are not visible. And when you unite all that, that's when you know who someone really is, when you know all those layers. So just keep that in mind. So don't judge too quickly, and judge based on the things that really matter, which I know that we'll judge based on looks, but try not to judge based on looks, because that doesn't give you the true story about someone. Try to judge based on everything, everything you see, especially what they are doing for a hobby. When they are not forced to do anything, when they can do whatever they want, they choose to do that, that tells you a lot about someone. Okay, let's go to number 5. So number 5 is in page 45 of Dark Whispers. So page look at what I wrote here. This is gonna be interesting. Want to get highly philosophical? Everything is connected in some way. Let's see why did I write that? Okay, so Alma Leonetti. Alma Leonetti, I forgot to talk about Alma Leonetti in the other video. Alma Leonetti is a pretty good character in this book. She barely appears, but she's an interesting character, and I like her story, which is covered in one of the chapters. So let me read you what she tells the Unicorn Moonheart. You can unweave the tapestry of time, Moonheart. Take any event, great or small, and you can trace the threads of cause back across century after century. Threads that are woven from the smallest of happenings. In the same way, things that we do today, any one of them, may have implications and consequences 1,000 years from now that we cannot yet begin to imagine. So this is very true. Most of us never think about these things, and if you're thinking about these things, you're philosophizing. You're probably a philosopher, sort of like me, thinking about thinking and many other things. But all this is, especially this idea, this is true. If you think about it, everything that is happening today because of all the things that happened before. Everything that happens to you is happening because of all the choices that you made, all the places that you were living at, all the other people that you interacted with. And if we change those things, if you were in a different place, you had interacted with different people, and you had different thoughts in your mind, and you were doing different things because of those different thoughts, your whole life could be different. So everything is connected in some way. It doesn't feel like it, it doesn't look like it, but if you get philosophical and you really open your eyes and your mind about this, you can realize that everything is connected, because everything that is happening today is happening here today because of something that happened before. So then everything is here due to something else, and that something else was there and existed because of what happened before. So at the end of the day, if you begin tracing back and even tracing forward, going forward, everything is connected or related in some way. Okay, so let's go on. Number 6, page 75. Okay, so 75. Who is talking here? Okay, I see who's talking here. I think it's Jakes. So he says, "Alas, I have no gift but my love." And this is what I wrote as a note, which is one of the best gifts that someone can give you. Genuine love, which is pretty much equal or the same thing as genuine caring. It's one of the best gifts that someone can give you, and it is not something material. It is not an object. It is not a gift that you can touch, but it is a gift that you can feel, and that can make a huge difference in your life. The people that do the most good for us, well, it depends. There are some people that love you in a bad way, and those people are not good for you at all. But if it is a person that loves you genuinely and in a good way, pretty much in the way that the mothers that are good mothers and the fathers that are good fathers love their little kids. It is a love that is so pure, so genuine. It's not there because they are going to get anything else in return. It is not there because they get something valuable or pleasure from that person. They might not be getting anything from that person, and they still feel this genuine caring. That's what real love is, by the way. And I think that's a gift, probably one of the greatest gifts that anyone can give you. So if you find someone like that, even if it is a person, I don't know, maybe someone that is kind of like in love with you, like partner wise, something like that. Even if it is a person you're not in love with, let them know that you're thankful for that, because it is one of the biggest gifts that we can get from someone else, genuine love. And not everyone gets it. There are many people that don't get it. So it is, something to be thankful for, and it is a great gift, even though it doesn't cost any money at all. It is a great gift. So let's go on to number 7, page 105. Number 5. Okay, so number 7. It's going to be the love we'll have of things unseen and mysteries unsolved. Especially the adventurous ones. The more adventurous you are, the more you love this. But everyone has this, curiosity inside their mind. We all have it. For things that we haven't seen yet, they feel that they're gonna be better because we don't know them yet and we haven't seen them yet. And mysteries that are not unsolved, we feel that it's gonna be a thrill to solve that mystery. They aren't always, look at what I wrote here in my note. A little pessimistic. I'm not pessimistic, I'm optimistic, but which these things aren't always as great as we thought. I was being realistic here, okay? Not pessimistic, but realistic. They are not always as great as we thought, especially if we idealize them. So if there's something that we have not seen and that we don't know, or it could be a mystery that has not been solved, it looks more enticing for us. It looks more interesting, like better. Like, it isn't necessarily like that. Maybe when it is solved, when you know the actual place or you know the actual person really well, when it is not a mystery anymore and when it's not unseen because you already saw it and you already know it, maybe it's not that great and you realize it at that point, but you didn't realize it before because we tend to idealize what we don't know yet. It feels better. It's like the saying that says that the grass seems, looks, or feels better. No, the grass looks greener in the other side. It isn't necessarily greener. It looks greener because it is the other side and you don't know the other side yet, or you haven't seen it. So it is an impulse that we need to learn to control, and we need to be smart about it and really assess it well. Assess it well so that you know if it really is better, more interesting, or if it's just your mind enticing you because it says that it's something new, like a new adventure, like something something new for your mind because you don't know it yet, you haven't seen it. So your mind gets in a I would love to do this mood. I would love to experiment with that and get to know it. I would love to get there and finally discover the mystery, solve the problem. If it is a person, know the person better or well. And it can be a double-edged sword. It can be good or it can be bad. It depends on what it is, especially for people. If it is a person that is good for you, it can be wonderful. If it is a person that is not good for you, it's like you yourself stabbing yourself in the back because you are going after that person, and then you're gonna realize when it is too late to make it different, to not care about that person, that you just were not going in the right path. But it is one of those things that we have to learn and we have to get wiser so that we can avoid that and we can get it right and do it right and pick the activities and the places and even the people that will not give us those bad experiences. So yeah, we cannot look at the grass at the other side as necessarily being better. We have to judge the grass realistically so that we can see, we can judge if it really is better or not. Okay, so that was number 7. So we go to number 8 on page 108. Okay, so in these things, he looked like every other delver in the cove. Where he differed, where he was different, was in his feelings. This is so important that's what I marked. So that you can hear me say something about this. So you can hear this idea for at least a few minutes because it is important. Okay, so let me see. What did I write here? The people. Okay, that's the one. The people that will make a difference in the world, the people that will create something great, are people just like everybody else. Like you, like me. They're not aliens, They're people just like you and me. What is making a difference, is right here. What is making a difference is not that they are different from us. They are like us. It is what is not visible, the way some of the ideas that they have, the mindset that they have, some of their ways of thinking that they have, those are a little different. That's why they're the ones making a difference in the world, obviously. There's something about them in the way of thinking that is different. Not in the way they look, or in the fact that they're human just like everybody else, but in the way they think. You know, and this is not just for innovators or for people that will do great things. This is for anyone. You can meet two people. Let's say you're single, like me, and you meet two people, and both of them seem like they could be a good partner. What can really tells you who is a really good partner for you, sadly, is what is not visible. It's the way they think. So you have to get to know them to get to know that. And the way to choose the best person is based on who they are here, who they are in their way of thinking, not how they look or anything else. Because what is gonna fit very well with you, or what is gonna be like at war with you, a real war, a real conflict that you're gonna hate, is going to be the way they think. Because the way they think determines their lifestyle, what they like, what they don't like, the way they're gonna be towards you and for you. And even with themselves, the way they're gonna be with themselves depends on how they think. So yes, it's like in this story there's one Delver that is special, and he really helps a lot. He helps the good guys, Carl, a lot. The reason why he is the one that does that is not that he was a Delver. He was just like all the other Delvers physically. The reason for that was that he was the one that had those thoughts and ideas that were in the good side. So then he was the one that helped the protagonist. So for humans and for us, it's the same thing. It's the things that are not visible, the feelings and the ideas, the emotions, the thoughts. You know, the thoughts. That's what they are. That are not visible. Our really tells you who the other person is, what their whole story is, whether they are great or not. And it's really difficult because most of us are not mind readers. But you have to, you have to be able to catch some of that to be able to know who is best for you. That's the only way. Okay, so number 9. So 146. I need to know what happened in the past. Ignoring our history is a recipe for disaster. This is very truthful. It is very truthful for an individual who doesn't know his past or his family history, who were the people from whom he came. Who did he come from? Who were those people? It's important to know that. And it also happens for a species, for a population in history, like in human history. So let me read what I wrote there. The little note that I wrote there. Trends, events, mistakes, even mistakes, tend to repeat themselves, not just in individuals, but also globally. You know, for a species, like for us, like for humans. Trends from the past. Events or things that happened in the past and mistakes that were done in the past, it's very likely that they will repeat themselves and they will happen again, because the species as a species will have a tendency to do that. And the individual as an individual, if he or she already did that before, guess what? He or she has built in them a tendency that makes it more likely for them to do that again, or to put himself or herself in that position again, or to fall for the same I was gonna say crap. Yeah, to fall for the same crap again. If you were not wise and you made a decision that wasn't right, it is important to be aware about what you did in your past, which wasn't in your best interest, which wasn't good, so you can have a better future and a better present. And this is not just for one person. This is also for the entire species. If there's no one, if there's no people with power, no governments, no countries, that look at what happened before and they try to make sure that it doesn't happen again, it's almost certain that it's going to happen again. So it's very important to not disregard the past and to be aware of it, to know it. If you come from a line of people that did great things, but you don't know any of that, you may miss the fact that you could be another person that can do a great thing. You don't know about them, but if you know about your ancestors, you do know about them, and you know about yourself, you're better prepared to know what your full potential is about, and even to be able to go for that full potential, I will say. So, and I feel like there are no coincidences. If someone does something great, it's very likely that someone in their family, from their, from the genetics, passed them the ability to do that something great. That person from before in the family didn't do it, but if you can do it, it's not a coincidence. I feel it's not a coincidence. It's the fact that you inherited that from someone else who probably didn't do it. So if there's something special, something great that you can do, make sure that you do it, because you have that ability for a reason. You probably inherited it from someone else. Okay, next. This is, let me see, this is page 151. So in 151, Nethic felt he had to say what was inside him. Okay, this is what I feel when I write my stories. I feel like I need to write them, like they have to be writing. Like there's something that is only, in me, and it is something that did much good to me. So if it is shared, it will do much good to many other people. So sometimes the drive to do things is not ambition, but it is a genuine drive to do those things because there's something in you, or maybe even something that we don't know how to explain yet, that makes you feel that you have to do that. I feel that way. I feel that way a lot about the things that I can do, the things that I can write, the things that I can share. I feel that way many times, that it's something that I must do, something that I need to do. So yeah, this is something that I'm telling you from my own experience. It's the people that feel that way, not all of them, but people that are like me and feel that way, they do it because they truly feel that they have to. Not out of duty, but out of maybe even happiness. Maybe they know that it makes them more complete, more whole, happier to do that and to share that with many other people. So I feel that way. I feel that way very much. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Page 155. This is number 11. Page 155. May those who have gone before be always with you. The characters in this book say that a lot, especially the unicorns. They say that a lot. Look at the little note that I wrote there. And they do go with you, you know? They are in your DNA, if you think about it. They are a part of you. The previous generations, they are not completely gone. In some, even if it is a distant way, in some way they continue living in you, because the reason why you exist is because they pass down their DNA to you, and basically you have inherited who you are because of who they were. So that continues being passed from generation to generation, and the generations change and we change, but the way we are right now is because of the way they were before, our ancestors. So there's a reason for everything, and when it comes to to living beings, they are that way because of the ones that came before. So when they tell you, may those who have gone before be always with you, it's a literal. It is meant literally, because they are always with you. If you think about it from a scientific point of view, like in terms of DNA, they are. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of them. Okay, let me see. Also, look at what I wrote here. Very interesting. Even people that are not part of your DNA, part of your family tree, your ancestor, your direct ancestors, all the people in the society that did something special, something good, something great, even those can be part of you if they inspire you. Previous people in your field are going to inspire you if you read their work, if you see what they did, if you admire them. If you buy their books and you keep them there with you, and your children read those books, and those children read those books too, those people are not in your family tree, but they're making a difference for you. They are making a difference. Especially if they give you through the books a lot of useful stuff, or a lot of memorable stuff, or a lot of stuff, which is going to be my case, that is going to inspire you a lot. And okay, that's it for this one. 155. So the next one, number 12 out of 20. So we still have a way to go. Number 12 out of 20 is in page 160. Okay, to speak of something is to bring it closer to you, better than to speak of good things such as luck or success or optimism or positivity. Okay, so what did I write in my note? Your thoughts make or break your word. And this is very real. If you have a lot of good thoughts, strong and positive thoughts in your head, if you have a lot of amazing thoughts in your head, you're gonna be happier, and you will be living, especially during the moment you have all those thoughts, much better than if you had negative thoughts and you didn't have anything inspiring in your mind, and all you had was putting you down or negative stuff. That's not gonna help you to do well. That's not gonna help you to be better. It's not gonna help you to be happy. It definitely won't help you to be the best, your best self. So yeah, make sure, the best we can do is to make sure that always, as much as possible, even if things are not so great, you're trying to think good thoughts. And if you don't have them, well, begin to work towards new things, do new things that are going to put you in that path of having better thoughts for yourself, and that is going to help you a lot. Because So, okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the next one, which is number. Okay, I already did this. So the next one is going to be on page 100. Okay, number 13. So page 200. 207. If I put an asterisk there, this is going to be good. Even for me, even if I read it by myself. So much better if I can share it with everyone. This is going to be great. Because when I put this asterisk there, something's good here. So 207. Okay. This is someone talking, a character talking to another character. Don't be foolish. I'm the one who's trained to fight. You're the one who finds things. This is Belle talking to Finder. Let's just each do what we do best. So the message here, do what you do best. First of all, this doesn't mean that you cannot learn to do at a reasonable level what you don't do best. If you want to know about that, ask me. I wasn't so great at sports, and I have been able to learn a ton of sports, so I can play any of them now. And I think I'm getting pretty good at a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them, which are racquetball, volleyball. And tennis I'm not so great yet, but I'm getting better. I'm improving little by little. But with enough training, you can learn even the things that you are not naturally good at. However, if you want to do great things, if you want to advance to an Olympic level, do what you do best. If you want to get to an Olympic level, figure out what is naturally, something that comes naturally for you, that you're pretty good at it even without training. Obviously, no one's going to be great at anything without training, but there are certain things that we're naturally inclined to be better for. So figure out what those are and train those so that you can get to something, one of those things, to an Olympic level. So for me, those things will be, number 1, writing stories and articles. I am pretty good at that. I've trained a lot, but I'm still in training. I'm getting even better. We'll see. I hope that I can revolutionize some genre eventually with one of the stories that I'm gonna write as a book. We'll see. So I'm also pretty good for talking. Not talking to boss other people or anything like that. I hate that. But talking to teach, to give advice, and even to inspire. Like a mix between a teacher and a psychologist, but not for crazy people, for normal people like me, basically. I feel I'm very good at that. I mean, I'm doing it like this, and I'm not even talking in my native language. So imagine that. In Spanish, I will probably do even better than this. So I'm doing this in my second language, which is English. I write really well in English, so don't be surprised if my writing feels like the writing of a native person. I write like that because I have had training, and I feel I am innately good for it. So obviously, something you're naturally good at, and you train it, you get. And if you keep doing that for years, you can get to an incredibly high level. You can do great things. If you're like that at some sport, you could be one of the greats in that sport. If you're like that let me check out just to make sure that everything is running smoothly. Yes, everything is running well in the camera and my phone. So yeah, If you notice that you're innately good for something, stick to that and train that. If you want to do something great, do what you do best, train what you do best, become even better at what you do best if you want to do something great. Or go to a master's level, an Olympic level at some skill or some activity. And we go to the next one. So the next one is, next page, 14. 214. 214. Okay, so I wish I had been kinder, she whispered. Don't wish when it is too late, do it when it is still possible. This is another one of our human faults that we all have. I'm pretty sure that everyone has done this mistake with someone at some point in their lives. You wish that you could tell her or him something, but you didn't do it. You didn't have the chance, or you didn't make the chance, or something like that. And then later you didn't have the chance ever again. And it's pretty sad, but that's the case when someone dies. When someone dies, you never see them again. You only have the pictures. If they do deeds or great things, they will be remembered. You have that. You may have it in video, but you don't have any chance to tell them anything else. If you lose complete contact with someone, maybe with a great friend, which was something that happened to me before in college, you never have the chance to, unless you get lucky and somehow you meet them again at some point, but you never have a chance to say it because you didn't say it in that moment when you could have said it. So basically, let me see if I wrote something for that here. No. Especially if that person is a good person that deserves something good that you're going to tell them. Even if it is someone that you like and you're not sure if they like you or not, what is the worst thing that could happen to you? That they look at you and tell you, I don't care about you, and get the hell out of here, and I won't talk to you again. Well, at least you know that they feel that way. So, but if you had not done that, if you had not had the courage, the bravery to make that step and to tell them that, you don't know. Even if it turns out to not be the best thing or what you wanted, it's better to know. I mean, trust me, based on my experience, I have done it both ways, by the way. I have done that in both ways. It is better to know, even if it ends up being not what you wanted. At the end, like years later, you will be happier if you had that closure, if you really knew. And if you didn't have that closure because that person didn't want to give you that closure, it is not this case. Forget about that person. It is not the case of a good person that you didn't have the closure with because you didn't have the courage to talk to them or something like that. It is the case of someone who simply didn't care about you. Right? So that's a different case. I'm talking about the cases where it was a great friend, or it was like in my case, like a great lady, and maybe you could have had them in your life much longer, but you didn't because at some point you lost communication with them because you didn't get their phone or didn't get their contact or didn't do something to make that happen. So in that case, we need to avoid those. And we need to learn from the ones that happen, because the ones that happen, you cannot change them. They're going to stay that way, so we need to learn from that. Okay, 301. So this is number 15. The best life clues, this is really good. Pay attention to this. The best life clues would probably come from other people. Especially other people that have lived longer than you, that already went through it, that have more experience than you. Other people that already experienced it, so they know it. It may not be exactly the same thing for them as it is for you, because they are a different person, but they went through it. So there's something that they know that you don't know yet. So the best life clues will probably come from other people. So you have to be able to learn from others that already learned something that you don't know yet. Recognize what you can learn from others, so that you don't have to spend the years learning yourself, or even if you have to spend the time, it's gonna cut that time by a lot, because you're already learning from others that already did it. So it is so important. It is difficult. It is as difficult as recognizing who is truly a good partner for you. You have to know them for that, but it's this recognizing who you can learn a lot from, and who, you know, it's a good thing to have that person in your life. You can, because you're gonna learn a lot from them. They're gonna be a great friend. They could be a mentor. They can make a positive difference for you. So recognizing who are those people is as difficult as recognizing who are the ones that make a good relationship partner for you. If you get good at those two things, you have it made. You know, your personal life at least. But it is so important to recognize, oh, this guy or this woman is someone that I can learn from. Well, this guy and this woman is a mess. I cannot learn anything from them. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna lose neurons if I mix myself with them. And it is a truth. It sounds like a joke, but this is a truth. There are people that are gonna, you know, drag you down. And there are people that, just from what you can learn from them, and seeing them and learning from them, they can lift you up. There are many people like that. Not all. There are many messes here in YouTube, but there are many people like that you can learn a lot from here in YouTube, which is something that really amazes me. 15 years ago it wasn't like this, and today you can really find a lot of great advice in YouTube. It's unbelievable, really. I mean, even for me, even someone that is like an unofficial philosopher and psychologist like me, even I can learn a lot from those people. But first you have to recognize, oh, this is a person I can learn from. Who are they? Not everyone is like that. But the ones that are, they are worth learning from. Okay, so next, 396. 396. And this is number 16. That decision was made not in calm reflection, as such things should be settled, but in the throes of fear and terror, which is the time when many bad actions come to pass. Yeah, this is so true. And I can tell you this from my personal experience. When you have to make an important decision, or when you have to make a decision that could be critical, make sure that your mind is clear, make sure that you don't have anger, make sure that you're not too emotional, make sure that you're not conflicted with another person, something like that. Because then it's very likely that you're not going to make the best decision, and you're not going to say the things that would have been the most convenient, the most strategic, to get what you really wanted, to get what you needed, to put you in the best position. If you are conflicted emotionally, you shouldn't be making at that moment important decisions, because it's very likely that you're not going to make the best decision. the the best way to make the best decision for something important is to really sit down and think about it with a clear mind, not with a conflicted mind that is somewhere else. And only you can realize if you're conflicted or if you're clear. So make sure that if you have to make an important decision, you don't rush, and you're making it with a clear, clear thoughts, and not influenced by other people. Not influenced, this is important, not influenced by anyone else, or even by negative emotions. Because if you're in a state that is negative and you make a decision at that point, your negative thoughts or emotion, they are going to influence the decision. It's very likely it's not going to be the best decision for you. So the best advice that I can give, the only advice that I can give, is to be aware of how you feel and to wait until you're more clear, until your emotions are in check, when you have them in control, and then make the important decision that can change your life and that can make a difference for you. If you don't feel clear and in control, don't make the decision yet. Wait. Okay, so I did number 16, so we go to 17. Page 425. 425. Okay, I don't see anything there, so I'm guessing it was the other page. It wasn't 425, it was 426. Okay, so this is Ian Hunter thinking or talking about his daughter and his wife. The answer to this was far more complicated. His love for his daughter was pure, simple, and clear as a mountain stream. His feelings for his wife were tangled with guilt and desire and sharp-edged memories of conflict. This is just a good example of what true love is. It is possible to feel and to have, to feel true love for a romantic partner, for a wife, for your wife, If you're a woman, for your husband. It is possible to have that kind of true and very caring love that is not influenced by lust. It is completely possible, and the people that have that kind of love both ways are the people that have the best relationships, and in my opinion they are the only ones that have experienced what true love is. A much more common example of true love that many more people experience is what you feel if you're a good father or a good mother for your child, for your kid, for your son, for your daughter. That kind of love is a love that is not influenced by lust or by what you can gain. On the contrary, you're thinking about what you can do for them. So it is a love that is all of it is about caring and helping and making a positive difference for that person. It's not about getting anything, but about doing something for them, doing only good things. So, and that is what true love is. Everything else is attraction and hormones, and it can be good attraction. I'm not saying that it is a bad thing or anything like that. It can be good attraction. There's lust that is good lust, and it can be with someone that's really nice, someone that really cares about you, really likes you. It can be like that. But even in that case, when many people will be fooled into thinking that it was love, even in that case, it is lust. The only true love is the one that is all about caring and doing something, doing good things for that person. I really honestly believe that's what the word love should be used for, but the word love in our society is used for so many things. Like I said, Owen, and it is not love. Love is the caring part. That's what love is. Okay, so 18. So 18 is on page 428. Oh, this is when I hated that character. The character in this book, in Dark Whispers, Felicity. What she does to Ian Hunter is so messed up. And but this is, my note here is on human pride. Sometimes we need to get over our pride and not have too much of it, because if you have too much of it, it's gonna stop you from doing certain things that will have been good. It's going to stop you from many things. Because pride is like one of the arms of ego, one of the things that are linked in a way to ego. So not all pride is bad, but there's some of it that could be negative. So having too much pride, if Ian Hunter had too much pride, he would have never been able to do what he did here. Much less with Felicity. Felicity, what she did to him was pretty messed up. I mean, if someone did that to me, I would want to, wham them in the head with something. But it all depends. If you're in the situation of Ian Hunter and you can't control your pride, you will also do that. You will also do what he did. And at the end of the day, it's important to understand that your pride has to be in check. You cannot let it control too much of you or have too much of it. It's good to have some. It's not good to have no pride. It's good to have some. But having too much and feeling, proud all the time, like, I'm the man, I do whatever I want, that's not good. But it's important to have some pride as a person, but definitely not to be too consumed by all that. But that will make you arrogant. If you're too consumed by your pride, you will come off as arrogant. So let's go to the next one. Oh, we only have two left. Number 19. So page 453. We only have two left. But think about it. Have you enjoyed this so far? Have you enjoyed seeing all the thoughts and the ideas that I got from reading this book that can teach us all something, not just me, also you, anyone can learn something from this. Anyone can learn something from not just from reading this book, but also from listening to what I'm telling you right now, which is what I remembered or what I learned or what I thought of when I read this. So number 19. Okay, let's see. To her surprise, she found that in telling the tale of how the unicorns had unknowingly created the Whisperer, I hope you have read the third book by now, because that's a huge spoiler. She experienced it even more deeply than she had when hearing it. So